Hi everyone, let me ask you a question. Have you ever tried to explain what you do to your family and friends and gotten a blank look? Or is fear holding you and your online business back right now? Now, if you answered yes to either of those, you're going to love this month's free newsletter. How do you get a copy? Head on over to writecom.com now. And by the way, if you want to make more money with your online business, you are going to love our coffee bean money making idea inside. So head over to Writecom, that's WRITECOME.com, and you'll find the newsletter waiting for you over there. Hi, this is Barry here, and you are very, very welcome to today's podcast episode from writecom.com. And today's podcast episode is entitled The One Thing That's in Control of You. Now, if we look back at all the decisions you made in your life, chances are good you didn't even make the majority of them. You know, the clothes you wore, the career path you went on, where you live, what you drive, all of those were probably made with someone else in mind. You know, you bought the clothes that made you fit in when you were a teenager. You might have took on the job that your parents wanted you to do and you didn't want to disappoint them. You bought an overpriced house to show everyone that you're winning in life. And the car in the driveway, well, you know, those payments may be a little bit steep, but it's nice driving up to the family get-together in that car and showing everybody that you're doing well in life. And when you think about it, a lot of us do make decisions on other people's opinions. You know, we worry what other people would think of us. And it's funny that when you really have a really good look at it, that, you know, the majority of people don't even pay attention to what we do. And what's really sad is that the one shot that you have at life isn't a life that's probably yours. You know, you were given one life to live, and all the things you've done so far has been maybe to impress someone, to make someone like you, to show that you're winning. And the life you're living isn't actually your life. It's kind of like a put-on life. It's like a make-believe life to show to other people that you're doing well in life, that you're getting ahead and that you're being successful and that you're happy, but it's not your life. So if you find maybe that you are, you know, when you do look at your life, because like most of us will probably look at what we do and can find times when we bought a car because we were trying to impress the neighbours, or we bought the house because we wanted our parents to, you know that we were doing well, even though secretly, you know, those payments were really costing us and really hurting us. And again, to the career path we went on, sometimes we take that job because we want to make our parents happy with us. You know, they paid for our college or they did this and that, and we feel obliged that we need to do the things that is going to make them happy. But inside, even though they are happy with us, we're dying inside because we're doing the wrong thing with our life. So what I want you maybe to keep in mind is when it comes to other people, because a lot of us will hold ourselves back from other people. You know, whatever you're doing in your business right now, I'm sure there is something that you would like to do, but the reason you're holding yourself back is because you're worried about what other people are going to think of you. You know, maybe doing videos, maybe doing a podcast, maybe creating some content for TikTok or whatever. Chances are good the reason you aren't doing that, it's not because you're scared. It's because you're scared of what other people will think about you. People that you will never meet, random people on the other side of the world that you shouldn't pay attention to, but yet their opinion is holding you back. It's making you smaller, and it's making you not do the thing that you really should be doing or wanting to do. Now, if you feel like that, you know, at the moment that you're just afraid because of what other people are going to think about you, maybe the first thing you need to keep in mind is that you are not important to other people. You know, it's amazing that we kid ourselves to think that the whole world is paying attention to us. It's amazing, like, if I thought, well, if I release this podcast episode, somebody over in Africa is going to stop right now, they're going to go racing off to iTunes and they are going to download that episode. And somebody over in Australia now is just going to down tools and they are going to listen to me for the next few minutes. I know I'm not that important. And you will find that when you maybe, you know, think if you are that important or that everybody is paying attention to you, when you actually create a piece of content and put it out and go have a look at the stats on the other side, you will be in for a rude awakening when you find how many little people have even read that blog post, or how little people have actually paid attention to your podcast episode or your TikTok. Hardly everyone's seen it, but yet you thought that it was so important that everybody in the whole world was going to pay attention to you, and again, they didn't. And again, too, the second thing I would probably make you keep in mind is that, you know, the biggest critics that are probably going to target you, that are going to comment on you and point the finger at you, are the scared and the lazy. You know, a lot of us hold ourselves back because of critics. You know, what if I do this thing and someone criticizes me? What if I create this piece of content? What are the comments going to be like underneath it? What are the reviews going to be like it? You know, but here's a news flash. People are not going to like you. Some people are going to like you. Some people are going to hate you. And some people are going to hate you no matter what you do. You know, you can change the content. You can do whatever you want, but you're not going to please those people, because sometimes people just hate your writing. They hate your voice. They hate your face. They hate 100 other things. Maybe that you stutter. Maybe that you repeat yourself. Things like that are going to aggravate somebody. And no matter what you do, you are never going to please those people. And a lot of us focus on those people who are our critics as if they are the people that we need to please, that we need to keep happy, instead of maybe just taking the eye off them and looking in the right direction for the people who are actually enjoying your content, the people who are sharing your posts, the people who are leaving nice comments underneath your blog post, or the people who maybe DM you every so often and say, I really enjoyed that piece of content that you made. A lot of us, unfortunately, again, I don't know if it's just because the negative is more powerful than the positive, but a lot of us will kind of focus on the negative side rather than the positive side. So instead of maybe focusing on the people who hate you, that you're never ever going to please, why not maybe just turn your head in the opposite direction and look at the people who love you for what you do and aren't annoyed by your face and aren't annoyed by your voice or your whatever you do, because they love you that what you do. And again too, when it comes to holding yourself back because you're afraid of what other people's opinions are, maybe just keep this final thought in mind, that regret is a hole that can never be filled. Now, I want you maybe to think on that for a moment. None of us likes to think of, you know, at the end of our life, on our deathbed or whatever. None of us like to think of that moment. You know, a lot of us like to believe that we are going to live forever, but you're in for a surprise. It's going to happen someday. Someday in our life, if we do get a moment maybe to look back on our life, a lot of us are probably going to look back in regret. We're going to look back at all the things we should have did, all the things we could have did, but we didn't do them because of someone else's opinion. Imagine looking back on your life right now and saying to yourself, well, the reason I didn't write those series of books, even though I wanted to write those books, even though I would have been my goal in life, my dream in life would be to write those books. But the reason I didn't write those books was because I was afraid of somebody on the other side of the world taking offense with them or not liking them. Or imagine saying to yourself, well, you know something, I had a message, I had a dream, I wanted to motivate people, I wanted to make a difference in people's lives. But the reason I didn't do it, again, I was afraid of what other people would say. What would they say about me in my video? What would they say about me in my podcast? Imagine looking back on your life and having so much regret for not doing the thing that you should have done. You know, this one shot that you had at life. But the reason you didn't take those things was because you're worried about some random other person on the other side of the world who is never going to like you, who is probably isn't even in your target market, or who maybe could be someone that you went to school with, who is just a sneer, is pointing the finger, and is like Nelson in The Simpsons going, ha ha, every time you go wrong. And you will find that those people that we are afraid of offending, afraid of, you know, drawing attention to ourselves, are the scared and the lazy. You know, they are scared to follow their own dreams, and it's a lot easier to, like Nelson, point the finger at someone else than point the finger at yourself and say, what should I be doing with my life? You know, is this what I'm going to look back on my life, that my life was just filled with standing here on the sideline criticising everybody else? Or should I have just done something with my own life? And again, you'll find too the lazy people. You know, you'll find that the people who probably criticise the quarterbacks are someone who's never ever been on a football pitch. You know, they're the armchair experts, the people that know everything but they've known nothing with their life. They're the people who will criticise your book but have never written a book themselves, or have any story in them, or have no love of writing. And yet they are the people that we will listen to, and when they say, well, your book sucks, well then they must be right. So I want you maybe just to think about your life and just, you know, we probably all are going to find moments in our life when, you know, we were controlled by someone else or other person's opinions. You know, the content we put out, the life choices we made, what we bought, the cars, the houses, all those different things. You're probably going to find that other people's opinions mattered more to you in that moment than that thing itself. And maybe the things that you are holding on to right now, the reason you're holding on to those things is because you're trying to impress someone else. So maybe it's time just to throw all those things away and just remember at this one shot in your life that you should be living your life. You should be living it the way you want to live it. And okay, maybe your parents did put you through college. Maybe, you do feel that you need to honour them in some way or that you need to make them happy. But wouldn't it be better for maybe just to disappoint them for a couple of years and then have them come back to you sometime in the future and say, you know something, you were right. You really should have been that dancer, or you really should have been that singer, or I didn't realise that you were so great at writing and I'm so impressed that you did follow that dream and you wrote those books because I'm really happy for you. And you will find that your parents just want you to be happy at the end of the day, and they don't really care what avenue that happiness comes through, whether it was through a career or whether it was through your chosen path. So give that some thought today. Are you living your life, and do you really want to look back at your life and say, well, I lived my life that way because of other people? I'm sure you don't. Have a lovely day. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us today. If you'd like more from the Rightcome.com podcast, be sure to subscribe now for more tips, tricks, and ideas you can use to make more money from your words. See you in the next episode.